everybody, I'm Joey.
And I'm Alex.
And today we are reviewing a game with an identity crisis.
Correct. You may be asking, is this game for 6-year-old girls? Who knows?
We don't know. We don't, and I don't think it knows.
No, it doesn't know.
But we are reviewing it today, and it is
Ta-da!
Puzzle Strike 2.
Oh, here it is.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So this is Puzzle Strike 2. Big box, right? Big box.
Massive
Probably
box.
like a lot of like minis in there, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there are so many minis. Do you know how many minis? Yeah, zero. Yep.
But there is a wand.
There is a wand.
Woo, 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 woo.
All right, so with the magic of editing, we are going to show you how the game is played. Okay, we are set up for a game of Puzzle Strike 2 right now. Now, again, this is just going to be a quick overview. It's not a how to play. This is just to kind of give you an idea of the flow of the game and what it's about. First off, here is the box. Yes, Puzzle Strike 2. This box, we'll talk about in the review, is very deceiving for the game that's inside. And is that a plus or minus? We'll find out. But anyway, it's a pretty big box. Why? Because it's a deck building game with a couple of small gems. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Now, we got lots of cards here, and then we've got the gems. These gems are really nice quality. I mean, these are great. They feel really good. And this guy right here, he wants to live on your floor, and he wants you to step on him because he thinks that would be fantastic. So anyway, these are very nice. Comes with the holders here. Also comes with these diamonds. These are going to go to every player except for the first player. We'll go to those in a moment. And it also comes with this first player marker. That's right. This scepter is the first player, the scepter holder. Yep, this is in the box. All right, and the cards are set up. There are two different card groups you can do. You can do Grand Melee or Birthday Bash. There are more you can purchase. We are doing Grand Melee because they say that is the best one to do first. So we have it all set up, like I said, for a 2-player game. Now, the rest of the games will play a bit different, but an overview, what's nice is it has pretty much a player guide right here in front, so it shows you exactly what happens. Everybody's going to start with 2 gems incoming. What is happening with this game is you're going to try to throw gems to other people and try to overflow them. You're going to start with no gems here. So you're going to try to throw gems off to other people to overflow them. So if you ever get past here at the end of your turn, you're going to bust and you're out. All right, so we're going to start off, and you first start your turn with the ante. Everybody's going to start with 5 cards in their hand. This is a deck building game. So you're going to start with the ante. So 2 gems from bank 5 slots. So that is pink. These 2 gems go directly in right here. And then your incoming gems. Normally you could put these in anytime you want to, but since I am the scepter holder, remember this? These have to drop immediately because I could block it. We'll go to in a moment. Like later, this card right here I could play and I could block those gems if I'm not the scepter holder. However, since I am the scepter holder, those 2 gems need to drop. When incoming gems come, you find out the color of these gems by going up here. Purple, then green. So I would drop a purple one first, and then a green one. All right, so now I'm to the action part of my turn phase. That's when I get to use these cards. As it says right here, I have got 3 actions per turn. These are more action points, plus ante-ups. Now, what are ante-ups? There are some cards called ante-ups that are down in this deck. Every time one of those comes, things will change. Your ante, the 2 I put in, will increase by 1, and also you'll get 1 more action. So you've got 3 actions per turn. So what I'm going to do here is I've got my hand, and what are these actions? They are crash gems. Now, to get rid of these gems, you're going to need to crash them. Right now, if I were to crash a gem, you take the top gem and all the adjacent of the same color. So right here, that is just green. I just crashed 1 gem. However, if I had this situation later, okay, I could then crash all 4 of these. And because I would take all 4, drop them over here, and because it ended here with a +2 bonus, I would then send 6 over here to the other person. Since I'm a scepter holder, that would go to everybody, but if it's one-on-one, I'd send 6 to that person. So now they're going to have 6 more gems coming their way next time, helping me overflow them. Also, you'll notice the gems I took off, I put here under these super moves. Every time these fill up, you get to use the ability. There are different things like throwing gems to different people, getting rid of your gems, or getting more action points or cards. So those are super moves you can use. Also, the diamond I mentioned before, right here, this goes to every player that is not the first player with the scepter, and that allows them to use these once for free, pretty much. So I would use this super move and do that. So what that would do, that is called crash gems. So I'd put that down, and that's 2 action points to use that. Now, for example, if the situation was like this, I could only crash 3 of them, right? Because there are 3 adjacent ones. So I could use this swap, take 1 action point, put it on this, swap these, and then I would swap this. And then I would use my crash for 2 actions, and then crash all of these, again getting that 2-person bonus or 2 gem bonus. And then that would take these 5, set them over here, and send 7 to them. Now, I could not crash this situation here because you have to crash the top gem. In the deck, there are also deep crashes. A deep crash is when you decide to crash lower, and you would grab those. So you would need a deep crash for that. There are different things like that, like draw more cards, basic block. These blocks I mentioned before, these will block incoming gems that people throw at you before they get to drop on your board. And right here. So those are your actions. Next is your buy. You're going to buy one of these cards. Now, the cost is gems that are going to come your way next time. So right here, these are 0. I can grab these for nothing. If I wanted to get this one, that would cost 3. I'd take a 3 and drop it in my incoming gems, and then add this to my discard pile. So it would then make my hand a bit stronger later. So I would do that. Now also there are creatures, different things like creatures here. A creature, if I had that in my hand, I'd play him for 2 action points. He'd go right here, and he'd give me a different skill or ability. You can only have 1 creature at a time. So you would buy something from here. So say I decided to do that, drop those 3, and now that's it. I discard my hand, drop it here. I then draw 5 plus my height bonus. So right here, I'm at the +2 bonus right here on the side. So I would draw 5 plus 2. So I would draw 7 cards into my hand, and then my turn will be over. It also says one little thing here that at the end, after each non-scepter player's turn, command decision. Scepter player chooses to power up or yield. I'm the scepter player, it doesn't happen, but say they end their turn. I then get to choose to power up or yield. Now what is that? Power up would be to add 1 gem to each of these to get me closer to doing my move. Or yield, give that person a scepter. Why would I do that? Well, having the scepter means that I can't use those block cards that you saw before. So every gem that comes incoming will just be getting dropped right there, and I have to crash it. I can't block it. So holding on to it too long becomes a problem. Also over here, there are wound cards. These wounds can be given, different cards will give you wounds. And these will go into your discard, and they will just muddy up your deck because they don't really do anything. They just kind of fill a spot in your deck that you can't use. So that is pretty much everything about it in a nutshell on how to play. It is an aggressive game about trying to get everybody else to overflow with gems, which are really nice, and it is all about having the scepter. Not really, but this is the first player token. I had to show this one more time before we saw what we thought about it. So, okay, this is Puzzle Strike 2. Let's send it back to the studio and see what we thought about it using magic. Boop, and now you're back.
We should have switched seats or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I
It's
feel
a lot
weird
of
to sit over there.
I know, me too. I can't do it. The times I've sat there, I'm like, I just can't do it. I have to sit here.
This is the important chair. I'm going to turn this off. This is very distracting to me. Okay, so hold on. Almost there.
You go,
there we go.
Nailed it.
Okay, so Puzzle Strike 2. This game was actually introduced to me, I think Eric Summer actually played this with me at a retreat.
Correct.
And went through all the expansions. Not with me, obviously, because I was not going to sit there the entire time. But he just had all the expansions, was going around, and he was playing this with everybody. And this is one I'll never forget. First impressions, you know what? You can move past first impressions.
Yeah.
You just can't. But they're still there. So when you see this, you're like, I don't think I want to play this game.
No.
But you dig down in it, and it's actually got some good mechanics in it.
It's got some good strategy to it. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. You told me about this game, and you showed me the box, and I was like, our 6-year-old was sitting next to us, and she's like, oh, can I play? And I was like, no. Because once you read the rules, you're like, clearly, this is not a children's game. This is very, like, thinky.
It is very thinky, and it's like, and it's not as aggressive as I would think it is, because it is like Candy Crush. I think it's Candy Crush. I don't know, whichever one you start hitting the gems as they go down.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what that is. I think it's Candy Crush.
Anyway, so it's one of those where you keep busting them, and it's got the neat mechanic similar to King of Tokyo. When you hold the scepter, or you're the first player, we'll just say for right now.
Yeah.
You attack everybody else, and then everybody attacks you, back and forth. But it doesn't work as well as King of Tokyo. I think this kind of shines as a 2-player game.
Correct. I did like this as a 2-player game. First of all, there's less downtime.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot going, like on your turn, you got to do all the stuff on your turn. And then you're like, okay, now I've got to wait. So 2-player, this works perfectly because there's less of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime. That is a big thing. Now, let's go. I don't want to avoid this scepter. It's funny. It's like a little gag. It's like something that you give out at like an elephant gift or white elephant gift or whatever. And you're like, this is funny. Okay, let's put it away. Okay, it's funny. It's cute. But it's also the reason this box is so big.
Correct.
And
yes. They could have made this box a lot smaller. And I was going to say the gem pieces that they have are amazing.
The quality is insane.
And the boards that they have, are really thick and everything. They have done a fantastic job on this.
They really could have. I mean, because they really didn't. It's funny. They didn't need this.
No.
This silly little gimmick. They didn't need it because the gems are that nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they feel good. The texture. Those are really nice quality.
We actually had one left out from when we were playing this, and someone was over playing another game and like, oh, I like that gem. Show me that gem. And it was from this game. And
right.
It gets really good reactions.
And the artwork is that anime style artwork, and it's so well done.
I love it.
And the cards, and then the mechanism of buying you've got the different, once you get +1 actions, and you also get +1 cards, and the give and take as you want to kind of be higher on your track, because you want those cards, you want those extra actions, but you don't want to be too high because you could bust so easily. And then when you start throwing like 15 gems at somebody, and you're like, well, that's going to kill them, and then it doesn't, somehow they can block and pull that back. All that is really, really fun.
I was going to say, I did really enjoy kind of like building my own deck. I like that. I would buy a card each round, and then I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the next round. I can use that card, whenever it is. I liked that part of it. At first, when I was reading through this rule book, I was like, I am not going to like this game.
No.
Because I kept hearing about the word puzzly. And I'm like, oh, I don't like puzzly games. And I was worried, maybe my brain does not think that way. And so I was worried about the gem track and the puzzles. But the cards helped me overcome that. Right. They gave me lots of strategy that I wasn't sort of something that was, I busted really early. I was able to kind of fight back through those cards because that's how great it was. It was really fun.
Good.
And I really enjoyed it. Like I said, at first I thought, oh, I'm not going to like this game. But I did. I really enjoyed this game.
I did too.
Yeah.
And the Birthday Bash, and I think the other one, the Grand... whatever it was, the second one. So all of that, and there's more expansions out there. There's a lot.
Yes.
So it's really fun. It's exciting. It goes back and forth. I think it shines as a 2-player game. Like I said, 3, maybe 4 gets a bit too long.
Yeah.
But the biggest downside of this is the identity crisis that it has.
Correct. Yes.
It's like they leaned into this a little bit too much with the scepter and all this, because I can't, as much as I like the gameplay on this, like your initial thing was like, pass, but we're reviewing it, so we have to play it, right? Obviously. But that's the initial thing. We brought it out 2 or 3 times at a game night, and people are like, you know what, I'm going to go over here. And I'm like, it's really fun, I promise. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but I'll probably come over here. And that right there, I don't know why why a company would want to put just such a big negative in there or do that. I don't know.
I feel like if it was at a retreat and it was set up and you didn't have the scepter anywhere nearby, people would be more like, hey, I would give this game a shot.
Yeah.
But you almost have to kind of hide it a little bit just for that, to get over that first impression.
Right, and it is silly, the scepter. At first, it's like, haha, you get the scepter now.
Yeah.
And then later you just stop doing it because the game is that good.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of what to do, going back and forth. And this says 15 minutes per player, and probably, you could probably finish in 30 minutes because it is random with the cards you get and the hands you're dealt that you could really attack and you could lose in 2 or 3 rounds. So there's that, but it also resets quickly.
Yeah.
And honestly, inside, the insert is good. So taking everything into account, the game mechanics I really like. What would you give this game?
I give this a 7.
I would too.
Yeah.
And I think if it was a different theme, if I knew the theme would allow it to hit the table more with the right group.
Correct. Yes, I can see really having to convince people to play this game and then them not wanting to do it. Yeah.
And it's almost not worth trying to convince people to play the game because you can just play another game.
Correct.
But honestly, if you give it a chance, this is a good game.
This game is really fun, yeah.
If you have people that would play anything, then this right here, you're going to like it.
Yeah, I really, like I said, at first I was not wanting to play this game, but I really enjoyed my plays of it. It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and the expansions, they do add a lot to it.
Yeah.
So you might wonder, why does it get a bit lower at a 7? Just because it's not, for us, it's not going to hit the table a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to take that into account. You just do. And I think it's a fun game if you can get to the table. If you like the theme, I mean, the anime, it's just a silly type of thing.
The artwork looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a good game. So give it a chance if you like Puzzle Strike 1, which we never played. But I think give this a chance, and I think you'll be surprised at how much depth the game actually has.
Yeah, here it is right here. This big giant box. It covers my face.
And now we will send you back to the Dice Tower channel.
Bing!
Oh, I was trying to hit the button. That would have been.
Bing! There we go.
Didn't
okay,
work.
no,
all right.
and we're done.
Whatever. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.